Welcome to another episode of Don't Quote Her. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. So if you're just tuning in and this is the first time you've listened, thank you. But you need to take your ass back to the previous episode and listen to that one first. I was going to do 3 parts, but then I was like, oh, I hate it when podcasts do 3 or 4 parts. So this is part 2. To give a little bit, I just want to in case anyone listened to the first part, and that was obviously a week ago and you need a little bit of a refresher. Katie had just gone through her relationship with her first marriage, Josh, and she was kind of talking a little bit about the divorce at the end of the previous episode. Going into the second part, she is talking a little bit more about that divorce, but then she's also going into her relationship with marriage number 2. We're not saying his name. I don't think it's necessary for this particular person. Katie also only barely scratches the surface on this one. So we might have to bring her back so she can dive back in because this motherfucker is crazy, disgusting and weird and just barf. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Stick around to the end of the episode because Katie and I are just so funny. And we also get into a messy mail segment that I left off of the previous episode. I feel so flattered that people write in and they ask me questions and for advice and stuff. Oh my God, who would have thought? Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoy and yeah, thank you for listening. At this point, I was living on the East Coast and I remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Exactly.
What a fucking fever dream. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know. It's wild.
Okay. So here's my thing. And we're not going to say this person's name. Going from marriage 1 to this man who was clearly just I'm going to say there was some mental health issues there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The bare minimum.
Yeah.
Okay. So you saw all this transpire, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go and you meet the person you're going to marry, the second person. Well, you don't meet him. You've known him at this point for a really long time. Because I know the guy who you married in marriage too. But you also knew him. Yeah. You had seen him date other people that we know. Yeah. So and you had heard and knew what you knew about him. Yeah. So why did you marry this person?
Yeah. I think for me, at that time, he had been such a good friend to me. Yeah. We were really close. Yeah. We hung out all the time, not just me and him, but he was around all the time, me, him, and other mutual friends. And he had just been, especially probably the last 2 years. Yeah. Before, he was just always a constant, Mm-hmm. And he was always very kind to me and just super respectful. And even if we hung out one-on-one, it was just he was a good friend, it was just never any weird vibes. I don't know. And I think when he expressed interest, it was not something that I had expected because we had been friends and there was never any weird, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just never got that there was never feeling before. Yeah. Never indication that he was interested in me like that. Right. And so it kind of caught me off guard and I was, kind of what? Yeah. No, absolutely not, but then once I knew that and then we were still spending time together, it was okay. Maybe
you started seeing him in a different
I started seeing him differently. And I thought because we had been friends and he was always so kind, I said he would never treat me the same way that he treated these other people.
Because you knew how he treated even one of them, our friend, our friend they had dated a long time ago. Yeah. You even knew how he did her.
Yeah. And I just, in my dumb, naive, young, desperate, depressed, sad, lonely, divorced, you're traumatized.
He's going to be different for me.
Yeah. I think I just wanted that so badly because of what I had just been through. And I hadn't really dealt with what I went through with Josh. Yeah. After I left, I moved back with my parents, but so did one of my friends, Golden. Yeah. And so I was never alone. I didn't deal with it. Yeah. I just drank and partied and acted like everything was fine.
That was party girl era for you,
even though it probably wasn't fine. You know what I mean? I obviously was happy that first marriage ended and that I wasn't with him anymore, but it still was not an easy thing to go through. And I don't think I had dealt with the trauma from it at that time. And so then here is this other person that is expressing interest and being so nice to me when I had just gone through all of that. It was like, oh, someone's treating me nice. You know what I mean? And I just like clung on to that and just pretend he's not going to do it to me. Yeah. He won't treat me the way that he treated these other people because we're friends, you know, like I'm not just some random girl. Like we know each other, you know, and I had never seen him that other way. Yeah. You know, he had never treated me that that. And so it was like, no,
you were just like, you were truly going off of like your experience with him.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And who he had been to me, you know?
Do you think Josh and this person had similar personality traits now that you're out of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you like see that now and you're like,
Yeah.
Do you think because you didn't process fully what happened with Josh, it allowed you to get back into something with marriage? Allowed you to go into something with similar circumstances with the person too? Mm-hmm. Isn't it funny? We don't really. I'm gonna adjust this, but it's so funny because we don't like really learn about healing until I feel like recently.
Well, yeah, because it just like wasn't a thing that was talked about. Like anxiety and stuff.
With marriage to that complete monster. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was obviously, to me, it was obvious. I think it was obvious to the people who cared about you that it was a pretty tumultuous marriage. Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about marriage too.
Oh God.
Like so you just shared the moment where you were like, oh, okay, this could be something more. So like when you guys decided to get married, like what happened then?
I don't even. I mean, we just did it. Like, I just, you know, I think it started for me. I think it started because I was depressed and sad and not dealing with it. I went into it thinking that this is going to make me feel better being with this person that cares about me so much. Yeah. And then I ended up loving him so much. It's disgusting. Yeah. For like it. You know, but so we just, you know, I told my parents and my friends and
and it wasn't well received.
It was not well received. No. And I didn't care.
No, that wasn't like a red flag for you. You weren't like, wait.
I mean, now it's like, I would never.
If everyone around you was like, hey, so I'm not going to be at your wedding because like you're marrying a dirtbag. You'd be like, wait, maybe he is a dirtbag? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, because your parents weren't there.
My parents weren't there. And now I couldn't, I mean, I don't do most things without them. Yeah. But back then, I wasn't that
you were
close.
Younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how did it go from there? Like, when did it, what was the moment? I mean, I know there was so much, but like, what was the moment you were like, this person is not who he said he was?
2 weeks after we got married.
Okay. Okay.
We were at the bistro for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And this girl went up to Lindsay and was like, who's that?
Pointing at you?
Yeah. Okay. And it was a girl that I can't even remember her name now, which it's crazy. There's so many of them. I don't remember her name now. Yeah. But Lindsay had known her and she was like, oh, that's so-and-so's wife. And she was like, wife? Like, he was literally at my house like last night or like 2 nights ago or something. And so they had been sleeping together since before we got married. Yeah. And so then I found out that night, 2 weeks later, and, you know, Lindsay, everyone was like, just like get an annulment, just leave now, you know, like whatever.
And you didn't.
And I didn't. And I stayed for another 6 years.
Oh my fucking God.
Maybe 7 years. No, 6 years. Yeah.
So over the course of your 6 years of marriage, he got other women pregnant. He was sleeping with other women. He was lying to you. Mm-hmm. Was he employed?
No.
So
he lied about working as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So at what point were you like, I have to get out of this one?
I mean, there were so many times that I wanted to leave and tried to leave, and he was many things. While he was never physically abusive, he was such a good manipulator.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was a master manipulator.
He was so good at saying the right things, saying them in a way that like, I've just never met anyone in my life that could look you straight in the eyes and lie so good, you know, to where it's like, and say all the things it's like that you need to hear in those moments, you know? Yeah. And I, again, went from one terrible marriage into another one, didn't heal. I was just I wasn't even like human, I feel like, back then. Like, I just like wasn't any part of myself. This person dictated how I felt every day.
What do you mean?
Like, if he was home and, you know, we weren't arguing, he was home, I wasn't worried about anything, I felt great.
Yeah.
If he wasn't home and I couldn't get a hold of him, I completely shut down. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't answer my phone. I remember my mom hadn't heard from me in 3 days and came to check on me. And I had just been sleeping and crying for 3 days because he left and he was gone for like a week and I couldn't get a hold of him. And I was just sick about it. It would have to be a 10-part series to document all of the things that it honestly would. He put me through, but that I let happen. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So when was the moment that you're like, this is it, I'm done, this is over?
I mean, we weren't living together. I was living with my parents, and I think he was staying with his uncle or family or something, because I had left. We were still communicating and sleeping together and, you know, claiming to be married. Yeah. But you know, it was really like you helped me so much when you were here, when we were because that was when
Gig Harbor.
Yeah, because that was when I left. I mean, like, really, because if I had stayed in Kitsap, who knows how much longer I would have stayed married to him.
Wait. But, like, before that, you hadn't decided that you guys were going to be over?
I mean, even after that, I think it was still, like, 3 years before I filed for divorce.
Yeah, but during those 3 years, though, I mean, I remember when you were living in Federal Way, I remember he tried showing up then to your apartment then. Yeah. But, like, even though you guys were still married, like, I feel like, even with your parents, you were still fucking with him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, wait, when did you stop? Like, when did you stop, like, everything?
Like, communicating with him and all of that?
Yeah.
Like, probably pretty abruptly when I moved to Renton.
Really?
Yeah. And even then, like, I
know some shit would, like, trickle through.
Yeah. And... yeah, but I think that was like when I truly was like, okay, I'm gonna move on.
Oh, you know, I didn't know that.
But I had been talking to him before. It was like we weren't living together, but it was like we were still together, you know? And then I would be like, no, because obviously I knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And still, even after that, he still was like trying to work things out, and, you know,
still to this day from prison, he's trying.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I just had to remove myself from that situation because having him so close, and it was like at that point, like, our lives were so connected. You know, like, one of my best friends is still married, but at the time married to his cousin, and I was really close with his family because I had been around, and he was so terrible to me that I really leaned on them because at that point I couldn't really lean on my family because they didn't, not that they didn't care about me, but they didn't want me to be with him. Yeah. And so when I needed to talk about what was going on to people that were going to show me empathy, I leaned on his family. Yeah. And so I think that was another thing and why it was so hard. Yeah. Because
you feel like you had nowhere to go.
Yeah. You know, it's my own doing. Like, I saw what was happening and I knew what I should do and what I needed to do. Yeah. And I just didn't do it. And so then I feel like I knew I was doing what I shouldn't. And I was pushing all of my people away because I didn't want to hear the truth. You know what I mean? It was like, no, I want to hear from these people that are going to back him up and make me feel okay for staying with him. You know what I mean? They were telling me what I wanted to hear. It was really hard. And if I would have stayed in Kitsap, I mean, I think I would have eventually left. Yeah. But it probably could have been a whole lot worse. Yeah. I probably would have gotten pregnant.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, my life would be, I just don't even want to think about who I would be right now if that wouldn't have happened, you know?
No. And I think we both knew that.
Yeah.
I had moved back here. I actually remember having dinner with you and Shadell and Ruth at your house one night.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling awkward. And I remember not even that, like, I mean, especially compared to where we are now, it's like if I ever walked in a house like that and seen you in the state that you were in, I would be like, I'm calling someone. I don't know who I'm calling, but here's the thing is, like, even for then, I remember, like, one, I couldn't believe you lived where you lived.
Yeah.
And two, I remember, like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know. It's wild. It's super bad.
Super bad. Like, this is not great. And I mean, of course, like, it's hard because, like, when you're watching your friend go through something, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Like, your knee-jerk reaction is either one of two things. It's either, like, you're an enabler.
Yep.
So as a friend, like, you're either going to be like, no, it's okay, everything's fine, whatever, and try and, like, justify it with you.
Yeah.
And almost you feel like probably, you know, almost like going through it with you. So then at least you're not alone.
Yeah.
Or you're on the other side of that spectrum, which is where I think I was. And I was like, bitch, this is not it.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, oh my God. And so then I had moved to Renton. I was living with Brittany at the time, which wound up being its own fuck show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it did.
But at least, like, you were out of Kitsap. Because I knew when I moved back to the East Coast, I did my little stint in Kitsap. And then I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, this is not it. And that's when Brittany was like, well, why don't you move into our downstairs? And then there was 2 extra rooms upstairs.
Yep.
And I had told her, I'm like, bro, we got to get Katie the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And before then, I hadn't even asked them. I was like, just come stay with me and we'll just say, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you on that patio, drunk as fuck. Because we used to get fucking shit tanked. And I just remember being like, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to get the fuck out. Yep. And you were like, wait, for real? And I remember being like, pack your shit.
Yeah.
We're going.
I literally no-showed to my job to go interview for the spa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I was working at the spa. I was like, yep, we could get you a job. It's no issue.
Yeah. And so then I went and interviewed and got the job. And then I got fired from Jimmy John's. And I was like, all right, cool. Do you need me to turn in my
like,
stuff?
Hello, you were working at Jimmy John's.
I know. Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. That is like, thank God. It's just so crazy.
I know.
It's honestly so crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, even after you left and then you got your own place in Federal Way, and I actually was living in the same apartment complex as you with Nando. I mean, I remember then you still going through it with him.
Well, yeah, because he had been in jail and then got out, and I stupidly was like, yeah, let's try it again.
Yes.
And so I think he moved in for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then I was just like,
no. Like, you just wake up one day and you're like,
and I was like,
this isn't it.
Absolutely not. I'm not doing this with you. And I remember I like had him pack all of his stuff, and I dropped him off at the Burger King like down the street and was just like, figure it out, and went home. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Okay,
like,
good.
And I think it was because I had been like removed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then like
you gain clarity.
Yeah. And then like I had lived on my own, you know, like at that point I had lived in Seattle for a little bit and then lived in Kirkland.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, what? No, ew, like, what is this? You know? And even then it was still really hard. Like, I struggled quite a bit after that, even though it was like the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
God, it's like so much. It's like you've lived so many different lives.
I know.
Like, it's insane.
And it's like, doesn't even feel, I have lived different lives. That's why I feel like it's not my life.
At any point in either of these relationships / marriages, were you ever just like, I'm terrified of being single and that's why I don't want to leave?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like, yeah, I was scared to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, I was like an adult.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really ever been alone. Like, I had always lived with my parents or lived with friends and was always surrounded by people. Like, I did not spend hardly any time truly alone.
Yeah. And that's so hard.
In those years of my life. And so I think ending things meant like I'm going to be alone.
Yeah.
And that terrified me.
Knowing what you know now about yourself, about relationships, and about obviously like being in those dynamics, what would you call that version of yourself?
Oh God. I honestly, I don't even know what I would call it, but like, I just don't feel like it's even me. Like now looking back, like I just can't ever imagine
being in a situation like that.
I would never, you know? Yeah. And so I don't even know what, I don't know. Like that's learning some lessons, Katie, for sure.
That's what you'd call her. Learning some lessons, Katie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's fast forward. How has going through those marriages and, I mean, other relationships that maybe don't warrant, obviously, as much attention because you didn't marry them, but like, how has going through those situations impacted the way that you date now? Are you like terrified or like what's your vibe?
I mean, I obviously had to do like a lot of work on myself, and like I had to get to a point where I was like okay being alone. Yeah. Where I was okay being single. Yeah. Where I wasn't like craving and searching for that validation from someone else and had to just be okay with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I, you know, obviously have done that. And now I am to the point where it doesn't terrify me to date. You know, obviously no one loves getting hurt, and I don't ever want to be in a relationship that makes me feel the way those marriages made me feel. You know what I mean? So I'm not terrified, but I also I don't want to date or spend time with someone who isn't like positively contributing to my life. Who isn't making my life better. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I am perfectly happy and I have my life is full the way it is now. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not going to bring someone into that and open up my life and myself and my time to someone that isn't going to add positivity to it or add something to it. You know, like I don't want anything that's going to drain me or pull me back into that person, you know?
Yeah, because being with the wrong person, or, you know, I think like I'm just also someone who like, I used to probably think that there was, like, I used to think that like there was like a soulmate. Yeah. I don't think that anymore. No. Because knowing now what I know about relationships and just what I know about like the human emotions and just being me is that you can be compatible with quite a few different types of people. Yeah. And to me, what's more important than love and what's more important even than like physical attraction, albeit I will say I'm not the best at prioritizing these here, is compatibility. Like you have to be able to be compatible with your person. Yeah. And what's really scary is like, you don't really realize how draining it is to be with the wrong person. Even if you are compatible with them, you don't know how draining it is until like you get out of it. Because like when you're in it, you're like, you think, yeah, you maybe mentally and emotionally might be tired, but like for in your head at the time, you're like for good reason. Yeah. Because like you're trying to nurse a relationship or you're doing things that are trying to resuscitate or positively contribute to your relationship. Yeah. And it's not until you get out of it that you're like, yeah, no, I'm never doing that again. Yeah. And I even like, I feel that because like even recently going through what I went through with Quincy, it was just like, I think what was more upsetting than just like him not being able to figure it out was like how I allowed it to affect me to a point where it was just like, I'm just sick of feeling this fucking way. Like it's just not, it's
It's like doing things. Like for me, it was like I was always trying to do extra.
Yes.
And like go over the top to like be with me. Like look what I can do for you. Look what I'm gonna sacrifice for you. Look at what your life could be if it was with me. You know what I mean?
Yes. And don't like, you look back on it now and you're like, bitch, stop.
Yeah. Like why did you do that and put so much? Like literally every ounce of anything that I had went to this person and
financially, emotionally,
everything,
mentally,
everything. You know, my whole life revolved around this one person, and their life did not revolve around me,
which is so fucked.
You know,
and they know it.
Yeah, and he played to it. He knew. Yep. And he knew what he had to say when we were arguing or when I was upset and I'm like, I don't want to be with you. Like, I'm done. You know, he knew what to say to get me right back where he wanted me. You know what I mean? And we'd have a few good days and then boom, off right back to the same shit, you know? And that cycle lasted for a really long time. And it was very hard to get out of.
You look back at everything. What is something that you would tell people who are in similar situations, or what's something you would even tell your younger self? Like, what's the one thing that you would say?
For me, it would be, I guess, like, pay attention to the actions and don't listen to the words, because that smart. Is I used the words to like reassure myself that I was doing the right thing. Well, look at what he's saying, and ignoring the actions. You know,
I've done the same.
Yeah, and I did that for basically my whole marriage.
With both. Or more so with the second one.
Josh was obviously awful, you know, and what he put me through is terrible. But I feel like it was what I went through in my second marriage. It's so much worse than what I went through with Josh. Like, even though he wasn't physically abusive, do you think it was worse because of
what I'm gonna say, like, malice intent with marriage number 2?
Yeah, it's just like he
was, like you said, he was playing into it, and you know that.
Yeah, I mean, now I know that. You know, at the time, I loved him so much. That marriage was so serious to me. You know, like, I just was all in, and I wanted what he was saying to be true.
Did you feel like it had to work because the first one didn't? Were you like, we're going to ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off?
Not necessarily because the first one did it, but I think because everyone's in my life's reaction was so negative that I wanted to be like, see, I made the right decision. Like, this is why I did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I got to the point where, like, I just didn't care about that anymore. Yeah. Because I was in such a dark place emotionally and mentally, and you know, and I wasn't perfect, you know, like, not that I did really anything. I don't want to say I didn't do anything wrong in the marriage or the relationship,
but not to the level,
but not to that extent. You know what I mean? Like, I had bad reactions, of course, and you know, did some crazy shit to find some shit out. And you know, not my proudest moments. But still didn't leave when I found the stuff out.
What did you do that was crazy? I mean, I know some stuff, but what did you do?
Well, I remember one time, one of the women that he was sleeping with, her ex-husband, like, she lived in his house because he was in the military, and she faked a pregnancy to try and get him to leave me. And then I remember her ex-husband came home, and so then, like, he couldn't really be over there, right? And then he found out about me.
He being marriage number 2.
Number 2, yeah. He couldn't really be over there like that as much as he could because her ex-husband was home, right? And she lived in the house with him. They had kids, whatever. And then I remember, so the ex-husband had reached out to me on Facebook.
Why? How?
Because he had found out that his Michelle was her name. I don't care. We can use it.
Yeah.
Her and marriage number 2 were at a hotel together, and he found out about it. I don't remember how he knew.
Yeah.
But he had called me, and I was with my friend Golden and my friend Renee.
Yeah.
And he told me what hotel it was, and so we went there. I was at my parents' house. We were just, like, hanging out, whatever. And so then it was in Bremerton. We went to Bremerton, and we went into the hotel lobby, and the girl working behind the desk just happened to be this other girl that marriage number 2 had cheated on me with. And a couple years before this, she had, like, confronted me at the 7-Eleven by my house. And so the minute she saw me, she knew I was there, because obviously she knew he was there. And she was like, I can't tell you, like, what room they're in or anything like that. And I was like, well, we got to get him out here. And so she's like, all right, well, I was like, I know the room is under this name. I know that because I knew he wasn't going to put it under his name. And we obviously know he's there. And she's like, well, yeah. She's like, I could just say we need his ID on file if he's going to be staying the night. And so she called the room to tell him that he needed to bring his ID down. And so then she got him to come out of the room, and then he saw me. And I was just like, you know, what the fuck are you, like, making a fucking scene in the hotel parking lot like a psychopath?
Hold on. Okay, hold on. The guy number 2 that you end up marrying in marriage number 2, okay? Mm-hmm. He is cheating on you one of the several times with this girl named Michelle. Michelle's husband reaches out to you on Facebook and is like, hey, they're in this hotel right now?
Yeah.
Like, he knew right then and there that they were in the hotel. Yeah. Probably because he saw the charge or something. He was
in the parking lot.
He was in the parking lot at the hotel.
Yeah.
So then you show up to the hotel. You're like, toot, I'm here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You go into the hotel, find out that another bitch that he cheated on you with is the fucking front desk person.
Yes.
And then she helps you call him down.
Yes.
Bitch.
I know.
Oh my
I know.
fucking God.
It's literally wild. Yeah.
Oh my God. And was he like shocked when he came down and saw you and you were like,
oh yeah.
What's up?
He literally was just like almost like laughing.
Because, you were like, surprise motherfucker. Yeah. It's me, Katie. You can't get rid of me.
Basically. No. And then she came out with like all their stuff. And
were you like, bitch, your husband's in the parking lot?
No, I wasn't really focused on her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I just told him, I said, if you don't get in the car and leave with me right now, like, that's it.
So what?
And then he didn't leave with me. He got in the cab with her, and I still stayed after that.
Katie.
I know. And if you can believe it, he did worse to me after that.
Yeah, like... he did. He absolutely did. Dude, that is so... I don't even think that... I mean, that is crazy of you, but, like, not crazy. Like, I feel like that's so justified. I would do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my fucking God. Oh, God. Okay, well, we see it all over social media. Like, these women who fantasize about, like, getting married, the ring, the wedding, like, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think so many of these women look forward to the wrong things.
Yeah.
What is it? Because here's the thing. I feel like women... I can't really speak for this generation of women, but I can speak for our generation of women. I'm going to generalize here. I think a lot of women like hyper fantasize the wedding.
Yeah.
And marriage.
The perfect day and the perfect everything. And
like getting married means like a great wedding, a beautiful dress. And then like, we'll figure it out after. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what is it, do you think, like, a lot of women are seeking when they're seeking marriage? Like, an experience or, like, a true partnership? Because, and this is what I'm going to say, is, like, for example, you and I were just watching the show, Balin.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not the best example, but a really good example, I feel like, of another generation and how it's almost ingrained in them. Like, it is the next step.
Yeah.
And... in that episode, right, Balin, she's younger, she has Tourette's, which if you don't watch it, you need to fucking watch it. It's absolutely hysterical. But her and sexy ass Colin, who has super thick thighs, they decide that they're gonna get married, right? And they're like a super wholesome couple, like no shade against them whatsoever, right? Balin's parents are like, oh, you guys should do premarital counseling. And you had said like, oh, okay, well, I would take offense to that, which obviously, like, I feel like who wouldn't, you know what I mean? But then I was like, well, you think about it, knowing what we know now about relationships, like, I feel like, yeah, it's hard not to get defensive if someone's like, yeah, so this is what you guys should do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, if you want your marriage to last, like, you really have to know someone.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I also, this other side of that coin is I feel like part of the journey is getting to know them as well, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, right? I feel like it is never ending. We all have so many versions of ourselves, and the one constant is changing.
Totally.
We do change and we do evolve.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like a lot of these women that marry these men, like, don't get me wrong, there are people out there who've met and then got married, got engaged a short time after, and then got engaged a short time after, and they're still together, and that's great for them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the general human experience, it doesn't always turn out that way.
No.
So what is it, do you think, that these women are seeking? Like, do you think that a lot of these women have like the right, also the purest intentions in mind? Or do you think they're just like out here because it's what we've essentially been bred to do?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two sides to it, because obviously, you know, there are women, and we know women that have the big, beautiful wedding and the perfect day and the beautiful dress and the ring, but they also have a great marriage and a great relationship. Absolutely. And, you know, they both entered for the right reasons. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And but I think when you look at those weddings, like, yes, they were beautiful and yes, they were perfect, but none over the top, extravagant. You know what I mean? Like nothing insane. I feel like the big over the top, like that, it's like I almost feel like they're trying to prove to everyone else how perfect everything is and how, like, look at this great life I'm gonna live. And
especially when they're like super flashy about it.
Yeah, and they think that that's what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? But really, like, when you love someone and you want to enter a partnership with them, it is more intimate and it is smaller and it isn't something that you're flashing around to everyone like, ooh, look at, you know, the $15,000 dress I have and all the, you know, it's just like so unnecessary. Yeah. I mean, not to say that they aren't in love with their partner and whatever, but I feel like it's more of a show for everyone else and not so much about them and their partnership, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like specifically it's the people, not saying that like you can't like get married, have a wonderful marriage and live a beautiful life if you have an expensive dress or an expensive wedding. Yeah. But I feel like it's the people who like make it a point to like bring it up all the time. Yes. Or like they lead with that rather than, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's really when
instead of leading with like
the connection you have with your husband and how excited you are to start
like,
a life.
Oh my gosh, like look at my ring. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like look at my $30,000 ring or whatever it is, instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I get to spend my life with this person. It's about the material things and the image from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? And that is not something to be worried about, whether your ring is $30,000 or $30 if you are in love and happy, and then like it doesn't matter, you know? Yeah. I didn't even get a ring for my second marriage.
No, you didn't.
I got a free tattoo that looks like a toddler did it, but I didn't care. I was so happy it didn't matter to me. Yeah. You know, like that didn't make the experience any less for me. Yeah. You know?
I would agree with you. Yeah. Why do you think women equate being successful or well-rounded with having a man in their lives or like a relationship? And we both know people like this. Yeah. And so it's like, why do you think it is that we do that? Like, why do you think that we're like, oh, well, we're better? We would never come out and say it, but like, why do you think like that kind of like stigma exists, that if you are in a committed relationship or what you think is a committed relationship, that like you have one up on people who necessarily don't have that?
I mean, I think a lot of it is like society. I think that especially now with like social media, people are so vocal about everything. Yeah. That, you know, people get called out. Like if you talk about being single or you talk about XYZ, it's, oh, well, this is why. And, you know, if you talk about like enjoying being single, people, you know, it's like, oh, well, that's because you can't, you know, you're not good enough for someone to want to be with, or it just like opens that door for people to be more negative towards you because you're not in a relationship. So I feel like people cling to that partnership because again, they feel like I'm not worthy enough on my own. Like I need this to show that, you know, I'm worth something, because if no one wants to be in a relationship with me, then like, yeah, what's wrong with me? You know, and that's always so quick. Like, why are you single? Like, what's wrong with you?
I fucking hate that question.
Like, nothing's fucking wrong with me.
Also,
you
don't
know?
ask women that question.
Well, yeah, and it's like I'm single because I choose to be single. Like, if I really wanted to be in a relationship,
it's not hard.
I could be in one.
And I
like, come on.
I think it's so funny because like I say the same thing. Like, if I wanted to be in a relationship, I could be in a relationship. I'm not saying it would be a good one, and I'm not saying it would be a healthy one, or even someone I'm fucking attracted to. But if that's like really what's at the top of my list to like make me feel worthy, men, I'm sorry, you guys are the easiest thing to get. No offense, but you are. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I agree with you that society is definitely a pressure that even I feel. As comfortable as I'm learning to be with like just really truly leaning into like this solo moment for myself, and I like want to do things like put myself out there more, and etc., whatever. Yeah. As much as I'm leaning into that, like I would be lying if there wasn't like this constant like looming distant, oral society says you're old and you need to get married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though it's not true, like, I would be lying. And it's because we're born and bred that way.
Yep.
Like, we were bred that, like, you win in life when you have a baby and a husband.
Yep. Even now, like, when my mom talks about, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, Patty, you know, her best friend has the grandkids and da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes I feel, like, bad.
Like a guilt?
Yeah, like, I feel guilty that they don't have grandchildren.
Yeah, but they do. They have all these
they have
wiener
grand
dogs.
Yeah, totally. But it's like, you know, like, but because that's how we grew up, like, this is what you do.
Yep.
And I feel that guilt, like, oh my God, I didn't give them that. You know what I mean? Like, they're missing out on something in their life because I didn't do that for them. You know what I mean? And it's a shitty feeling that I shouldn't feel.
Do you think women confuse love with being chosen?
100%. I mean, I did it twice. I've probably done it more than twice, but those two, like, I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that my second marriage, I believe that he did love me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But not in the way that you love your wife. You know what I mean?
And not the way that you needed him to.
And not the way that I needed him to. I don't think that Josh ever truly loved me. We barely knew each other. I remember he messages me every year almost, even now. But I remember probably like a year after we were divorced, he like messaged me on Facebook and basically was like, yeah, like, I'm sorry for how I treated you, but I found out that I have sleep apnea and that's why I did what I did to you. So, but I'm cured now.
Please
basically. And I was just like,
I
think I just sent like a gif of like someone laughing so hard they were spitting something out, and then he was like, fuck you, and I was like, cool, you know, like,
bye, loser.
I don't give a shit. But yeah, it feels nice to be chosen when you're not confident and someone is giving you the attention and telling you like, I want you. Yeah, that feels good, and
it does feel good.
Will reel you in and make you think that you're in something better than what it is, you know. Yeah, it makes you feel more than what you should, and it's hard.
I agree. We talked about this kind of briefly in the Uber last weekend with our Uber driver. Is love enough? Do you think love is enough?
No, love is absolutely not enough. Yeah. I mean, I loved my second husband so much, and it didn't matter. Love is important. Like, you can't have a successful and, you know, a lasting relationship without it, but it's not enough to get you through everything. I totally agree. It's relationships and marriages and all, it's so much work. Yeah. And you don't always, you know, like your partner, and you disagree, and you know, like, you have to be able to like grow together and communicate and work through things and love. If you're not willing to do those and compromise, like, so many people don't want to compromise, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to let anyone change me and blah, 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 blah. And sometimes it's not about that. Like, it's not changing you, but you care about this other person, and you evolve. Like, compromises need to be made. Yeah. Like, you can't expect someone to conform to you. So why would you, you know what I mean? Like, you have to work together. Yeah, for sure. And, love isn't gonna do the trick.
I think it's so outdated to think that, like, I just want to be in love. Fuck that. Like, yes, I do. Yeah. But also, like, I want someone who respects me and who values me and considers me and does so many other things other than just love me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, love fluctuates. Like, it goes up, it goes down. I don't think, like, if you really do genuinely love someone, I don't think it ever disappears fully, even if you have to separate from them. Yeah. But, like, I think that, no, it's just never enough.
It's not enough.
When you think about love and relationships now, like, what does that look like and feel like to you? Like,
I mean, I think obviously in a relationship, I would want good communication. Okay. That's like a must for me. I have anxiety. Mm-hmm. I need someone that can communicate with me, or it just like isn't, like, I'm not gonna do well. Mm-hmm. I need support, I guess. Like, I have a mentally difficult job sometimes, and so sometimes I just need someone to just support my crazy behaviors, or, like, you know, if I'm upset about something, I want to talk about it, and I need them to, like, let me do that. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And then I would say just, like, kindness. I don't know. Like, kindness and fun. Like, I need to be, I need to laugh. I need to be stimulated, but I also need to be with someone that is, like, kind-hearted and, like, cares about other people. And I'm a bleeding heart. I truly care about just the people in my life and the people that aren't. I just, like, it's just who I am. And so I definitely would need that. And then as far as, like, what I want them to have, I mean, obviously I want someone that, especially at the age I am now, that is taking care of themselves and, like,
which you think wouldn't be, like, hard to find.
Yeah, but, like, has their own place. Like, I don't care where it is or what it is. You know, like, that doesn't matter to me. But
they provide for themselves. Which is actually literally so hard to come by.
It honestly is. And I want them to work. I don't really care what they do as long as it's, like, a steady job. You know, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They managed a McDonald's, like, great.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you can provide for yourself.
If you can provide for yourself and that, like, awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care too much about that. And then I guess if because I don't really care about dating someone with kids or without kids or whatever. Like, that doesn't matter to me, but they have to be a good parent, like, involved and, you know,
Okay. Those are all valid things.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's more, but
those, like, top. Yeah, the most important.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to, do you think you've ever had to, like, prove that you were happy when you're to be single? Like, do you think, like, people have ever, like, stigmatized you, like, oh, you're single? You must be miserable. Because, like, I kind of feel like sometimes I do. Like, I don't even know, like, why. Maybe it's more of, like, a me thing, but sometimes I feel like I do have to, like, maybe not prove is the word, but for lack of a better term, I'm going to say prove that, like, it's okay, guys. I'm single and, like, I'm happy about it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so weird because I think I feel that way around my family sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, not my parents necessarily because they see that I'm happy.
Yeah.
But, like, in, like, family get-togethers, like, around the holidays and stuff, I feel like sometimes I have to, like, make it a point to talk about how good I'm doing, and not necessarily in life, but just like, oh yeah, you know, like, I went on vacation here and work's going great and da-da-da, like, stuff I normally wouldn't, like, necessarily want to talk about because it just is just normal.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I need to, like, talk it up because I don't want anyone to worry and think, like, I'm depressed or, you know.
Like, you're sad.
Yeah, because I'm not. I was for a really long time, but I'm, you know, at the point I'm at in my life now, like, I'm full with career and just life in general. I mean,
and we have some trips coming up that we want to take.
Yeah. There's obviously things. It's been a very difficult year for me this year.
Yeah.
And so, like, life's not perfect, but I'm still in a good place, I think.
How do you separate being alone from being lonely? Like, for me, sometimes I feel like I even still struggle with it. I feel like I'd struggle even more with it if you weren't my neighbor.
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah. I felt because I don't mind being by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I like having my space and it doesn't bother me being by myself.
I eat by myself all the time. I go run errands by myself. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I'm okay being by myself.
Yeah, I definitely, but there are times where I think it is like when I do feel lonely is when I'm removed from, like, further away from comfort. Like, when I lived in my loft.
Oh, yeah.
I was lonely.
In Seattle,
you know, because
and I had just moved to Kent.
You had just moved to Kent. Like, Alec was around, which is great, but it's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still far away from my parents, so I don't see them a lot. Like, didn't really have a ton of friends around, and you weren't there anymore, so then it was kind of like there were times where it was like, oh, I really want to do something, or, you know, I don't want to be by myself right now, but I am. Yeah. And so I did feel kind of lonely in that little transition. Yeah. But I struggle with it too, where sometimes I just, like, I feel sad. Yeah. And it's like, am I sad because I'm lonely, or am I sad because of something else? Or, you know, it's hard to tell when you live alone and you're single. Yeah. Like, what is this feeling?
Yeah. Sometimes it's, like, small stuff. Like, this is going to sound so corny, but, like, for me, it's like sometimes, I mean, and this just goes to show when you want someone in your life, like, it's not always necessarily for, like, big things. Like, sometimes, like, I miss being in a relationship with someone because you don't have someone to like call.
Yeah.
Or like even sit and watch TV with.
Yeah.
Or like go to a movie with, or like cook for, or so like that's why like because Kate, I said this at the top of the episode, but Katie lives in like 2 buildings down from me. We live in the same apartment complex. We'll go over to each other's houses and like we'll cook each other dinner, and so then that way I also feel like it's just easier sometimes because it's like so much easier to cook for 2 people than it is for one. Or like just like even I'll go over and just like watch a show or whatever, because it's like sometimes like you do just need that. And don't get me wrong, like I'm like relearning like how to be alone. I think even in my off and on with Quincy, even though he wasn't always around, it's like I always had like that feeling of companionship.
Yeah, you get used to it.
And you get used to it, you know what I mean? And so it's like to not have that, it's like you're just like, you know, you gotta like learn how to readjust. So yeah, I get that.
I do feel that, because there's times where just like small things, like when I was going through and my hands were really bad and I couldn't like really use them. I remember I was like home alone, obviously, and I was like trying to open a can and I like couldn't open the can and I started crying. And it's like in moments like that, like, God, I just wish that I had someone like here for me, you know, that could help me right now, because I can't use this can opener. And
that's just exactly how I felt when I fractured my rib.
Yeah, it's like just such a small thing, but it's like, and when my dad had to come and stay with me and like help me because I don't have that. Yeah. And so it's like in moments like that, it's like, man, this would be,
but I know like it would be so nice, but my thing is like, I just haven't found anyone that I could depend on like that.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's what's really upsetting, because I went through the same thing when I fractured my rib, and like, it was so, I think it's so wild to me, like, Laurel, you piece of shit, because it's so wild to me because like when I fractured my rib at the gym and I had to drive myself to the emergency room, it was like I thought about calling my on again off again Quincy, but then it's like, for what?
Yeah, he's not gonna be there.
He's not gonna, like, no, he's not gonna, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna do anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so I think like it's sad that I even fucked with him after that, knowing that. But anyways, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Coming out of like all those shitty relationships and then, you know, spending some time like by yourself and whatnot, it changes like your perception of yourself, you know, like you add value to yourself, which you should. Do you think knowing your value and knowing your worth changes or affects how you date and what you tolerate or how long you stay with someone?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does, because I feel like when I was younger, especially, I was such a people pleaser. I really didn't like confrontation. And so I would just let so much stuff slide, even though it bothered me and I didn't like it and I didn't want to put up with it. But it was like, I don't want to speak up for myself. Yeah. And I've learned so much since I've been out of those marriages about myself and about how I communicate with other people, not just in relationships, but just in life. And I think now I don't put up with things because I am able to set boundaries and speak up when I need to. And that's something that I never did before.
Do you ever think you're being too harsh? Like when things...
Sometimes.
I do.
I do.
I don't think that about you, but I think about myself.
Sometimes, yeah, because it's, you know, but for me, it's just like if I get a feeling that takes me back it's a no. And it's not, and yeah, maybe it wasn't anything major and they might be a great person and cool, but it's like once I have that feeling,
it's like an ick.
And it's just something that I'm just not willing. I'm never going to put myself through a situation like that. And I know that with the right person, it isn't going to be hard. Like, there's going to be hard times and hard moments, but it's not going to be difficult. And so if it feels difficult, I'm done. Yeah. Like I'm not willing. I would rather spend the rest of my life single.
Oh, for sure. Than with the wrong person.
Then go through that again. Absolutely. Like I just won't. And whatever,
I
know,
agree.
like I'm cool with it.
I agree. And I actually just posted something about this on my social media where it's like, I have spent so much of my life like thinking that when things didn't fit, like you said, nothing is going to be easy. Yeah. Like when you have a relationship with someone, it's not going to be easy, especially as an adult, like a grown adult. We have grown adult lives. We have grown adult responsibilities. There are going to be speed bumps when you're trying to mesh those two lives together.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much you care, love, respect each other, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be speed bumps. But like, I always thought that like that constant, like struggle, that constant fight, or the feeling of like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And maybe you're arguing or butting heads, or maybe it's internal. Maybe it's an internal like headbutting that's going on or whatever. I always felt like it was normal.
Yeah.
Like, life's not easy, Laurel. Everything's going to be hard.
Yep.
Like, this is just what it
is.
You
just have to figure out how to make it work.
Figure it out.
Yep.
Try harder.
Try something different.
Readjust. Yep. And so I have spent my life readjusting in friendships, in relationships, with myself, in my jobs, like in my career. Like, I have spent a lifetime doing that, when it's like, no, that is the universe telling you, flashing lights, like, this isn't for you.
You're
like,
readjusting for people that aren't readjusting for you.
Correct. And so for so much of my life, like, I've made myself smaller for men, for friendships, for jobs, and I haven't used my full potential in so many areas of my life. And sometimes you think like, oh, it's me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, after a lifetime of doing that, like, I totally agree with you. Like, I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
Like, I'm not going to make myself small for anyone.
Yeah.
Even a relationship, no matter how bad I do want to be with someone, like, if it doesn't fit, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And like, I need to listen to that more. I mean, like, think about how many times you've ignored your gut.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Like, come the fuck on, dude. Do you think men get their worth or their value from being in relationships the same way women do? Or do you think like that's a gender trap? Because like, I don't think
they do at all.
I think what is so crazy to me is that so many men these days, they haven't cracked the code. Like, they don't get it. I think it is so cool to be in an honest and true relationship and have that person by your side.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me that when these men like find a woman like that, like, they don't hang on to her. Like, that to me is so crazy. Because you would add a woman who has true intentions. And I want to be so clear when I say that. Add a woman who has true intentions and loves and cares about you and has her own life and has shit percolating in her own life. Add a woman like that to your life. Your worth is going up 100 times.
Yep.
So it's crazy to me that like men don't think it's cool to be in a relationship with a woman.
No, like, they don't. That's the thing.
They really don't.
Like,
they think it's cool to like use a woman.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
And hop around, and how, it's like they put their worth on how many women they can get. And it's like, you have this great woman that would sacrifice anything for you, that you have fun with, your friends, like all this stuff, but that's not enough. Like, they're always wanting more. Like, it's not cool to just be with one person, because
then, so weird.
Then I can't go out with my friend. It's like, yeah, you can. You just can't be a dirtbag.
Yo, if you're out here like cheating on your lady, or if you're out here cheating on your dude and they're like a good person.
Yeah.
Like, I can't fuck with you.
No.
Like, that, you're weird, dude. Like you're mad weird for that. Like, it's so strange to me.
It is.
I think that really like wraps it up. I mean, is there anything that like you want to say that you didn't?
Not really.
I think like really the general takeaway is like, when you have a feeling like something is wrong, like, get out.
Yeah. Trust
your gut. Trust your fucking gut.
And again, I will repeat it. Pay attention to the actions and not the words.
Yeah.
Because the words don't mean shit.
Yeah.
If the actions don't follow.
Yeah. And I think also, like, it's cool to be a grown ass woman with no kids and no man.
And also, it's cool to be in a relationship, fellas.
Yeah. And also that, yes.
It is cool to be faithful and have a strong, independent honest partnership.
Yes. Like,
that is,
Yes. That to me is like so crazy. Like, I hate to say this, but like when men fumble me, I'm just like, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And I'm a loser for wanting you, but like, you're a loser for fumbling me, because like, when you have a bitch who has like some fucking motion to her and is making good money and whatever, like has hobbies and does her own shit or whatever, it's crazy to me. But with also the other side of that coin, it's crazy to me that like women like think less of themselves. I'm not going to say it's crazy, because I used to think this. It's crazy to think that there are women out there who equate with being with a man, or being in a relationship with a man, or having a partner, I guess, in general, with like living a successful and full life. I wouldn't say like I haven't had a full life. I definitely have. And similar to you, like I have stories that are terrifying as well. But I think that like, I don't think I've like really ever taken control of my life in the way that I'm the director.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be more intentional with like how I'm living my life.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean it's going to be like that every weekend or every day, but I think like I'm trying to lean more into being solo. So then that way, like when I do find my person or my person finds me, it's like, come join me on this fun ass ride.
Exactly.
And I don't think I was ever like that before.
No.
I think I was always like trying to find someone's life to join with them.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I feel like I even felt this way a little bit with Quincy. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to come have fun with me?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like waiting for partnership to experience things.
Yeah.
Like not doing things because you're alone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's like, no, I'm going to do it regardless.
Yeah, I want to do it regardless.
And yeah, you're exactly right. Like you meet someone, you start the relationship, and then now you get to do these things with someone else. It's things that you were already doing where I was the same way. Like I wouldn't do anything.
In my perfect situation, it's like we're all vacationing together and there are guys, our friends.
Yes.
So like we need to get on that.
So
we need to find some brothers.
Hey fellas, we're 37. We live in Kent.
So don't leave at 37.
What? We are. Oh yeah, you are not an age. Laurel's not an age, but me, I'm 37. It's fine.
Unicorn. Okay, so that really wraps up. Oh wait, no. I lied.
I'm also a Gemini, so. If anyone's into astrology out there, it's astrology, right?
Hi, I'm Katie. Yeah, what do you mean it's astrology?
What do you mean astrology and astronomy?
It's a horoscope.
But it's
astrology.
don't trick me, bitch.
I think
just like Tijuana is, you know, might be in San Diego, but also is in Mexico. Vancouver's a tricky one too,
dude.
Is it part of Washington?
Listen, I was watching TikTok last night and I found this really cool girl who bought a condo down, southeast Portland. You know, Portland, they don't go like, they do directions like that instead of parts of neighborhoods or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, she lived like almost to the side, but a little bit lower than that bridge that connects Portland to like another town. You know, that big long bridge. Like we'd have to go across it when I went to work when we lived down there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She was like talking about all these like mirrors that she thrifted, and she was like, "Yeah, so I found this mirror in Vancouver, Washington." And for a brief moment, I was like, "Oh my God, she went all the way up north." But then I forgot that Vancouver is just right across the other bridge.
Bitch, we used to go to Vancouver all the time.
But for the longest time, I thought Washington had two Vancouvers. Can you, come on, hello?
No.
Anyways, so you saw, because you were here when I was recording with Alex, so I do like a messy mail segment, right?
Yeah.
And after sharing the first episode, I've had quite a few people reach out and share their support for going solo, which I really appreciate. I did not think that it would be so well received. And there were a few people who reached out sharing their stories about why or how their friendship ended and the grief that comes with it, which obviously you know about the friend that I recently lost, RIP. She's not dead, but whatever. I want to share a question someone sent me, and then we'll give our little 2-piece of advice. It says, hey girl, I need your advice. I had a falling out with my best friend too. We were inseparable for years and now we barely speak. It honestly feels like a breakup, but no one really talks about grieving friendships the same way we talk about grieving romantic ones. I keep going back and forth between being sad and angry and a little embarrassed that I care this much, even though I feel like I shouldn't. How do I move on from a friendship that ended, especially when they're still alive and posting on social media like nothing happened?
I mean, first of all, get them off your social media.
Yeah. Block that bitch.
Yeah. Block them, whatever you have to do. I mean, I have also lost multiple friendships in my adult life.
To death and
to just not being
on the same page
and having to end those friendships. And it is not easy because, you know, you do have, you know, even for me, I still have like Facebook memories that pop up and things like that. And it's like the good times. But at the end of the day, like, you have to do what's best and going to benefit you as hard as it is. And I mean, I don't think there's any like trick to grieving that loss because everyone feels things differently. Everyone deals with things differently. But if it's, you know, if it's the right thing, it's the right thing. And you just have to do it. I had to just completely cut off contact, cold turkey.
Sucks.
And just I'm done. And cut that off. And it is hard, but I think it's easier than like not talking and not hanging out, but then still being involved through social media and being involved in that person's life. Yeah. Because it's just for me now where I can see like I don't feel anything anymore. It's just kind of like, oh, whatever, you know? Yeah. But for a long time, because you have mutual friends and you're still going to see what's going on in that person's life. For me, the key was just stop talking to them cold turkey. Yeah. Like I just no contact. And I did that, you know, I've lost 3 really good friendships in the last probably 6 years, and I had to do that for all of them.
I feel like with friends, so there are several things that are not really often talked about, but 2 things that I feel like are not often talked about is 1, it's okay that you lose friends and you gain friends, even as you grow older. Yep. And 2, when you do lose said friends, whether it was because of a mutual thing or you guys, you know, fade away or whatever the fuck, or whether it's intentional, like recently with me, it's like, it's okay to be sad about it. Yeah. I mean, like, you think about it, even with, you know, just like with romantic relationships, when you are, you know, in this case, especially like inseparable with someone, when you don't have that person in your life anymore, you have to learn a whole new way to live your life. Yeah. And it may or may not sound corny, but it's true. It is. Recently, when my friendship ended, right, with you know who. Yeah. It is one of those things where it's like, even though she said some pretty fucked up shit, and even though I think it was for the best, I really do. Yeah. It like still sucks. Yeah. Because like you talk to that person every day and you're curious about that person every day because you care about them every day. Yeah. And so like not having that like communication there every day is like such an adjustment. You have to get used to it. Yeah. But ultimately I agree with you. Like you have to do what's right for yourself. It is so important to have, just like it's so important to have a romantic partner that like is invested. Mm-hmm. It's so important to have a circle of girlfriends, or you know, however many girlfriends, but that can be 1, it can be 2, where like you trust them and you know, you feel like no matter what you can go to them and you can say something to them, but at the same time like you can have privacy and you can have those moments where you're like, I have to figure out how I feel about this first before I share it with whoever. Yeah. And so when you feel like that is taken away, then like you have to do what's best for you.
Yeah, you have to.
Good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
Oprah. Look at this. Everyday Oprah sitting on my couch. That wraps up episode 2. We are going to go, speaking of girlfriends, we're going to go help our friend Sydney build some furniture. Yeah. I am recording this. I'm in my vlogging era. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be fucking hysterical. Sydney, I know you're going to be listening to this, and by the time you do, the time is already going to be past, but I just want you to know now, I never claimed to be good at building furniture.
And I'm going to apologize now. We're not good with arches.
When she said that, she was like, yeah, this counter has like an arch. You and I both were like, no,
not good with arches.
So thank you for listening. You can find Don't Quote Her on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. This episode specifically won't be on YouTube. The audio will be, but the visual won't be. My phone hates me and decided that I didn't want to back up on the iCloud. And so now I have so much storage on my phone that I have to go through. So that's that. With that being said, you can still listen to the audio. I'll still post it. You can find the podcast on social media, on TikTok and Instagram at Don't Quote Her Podcast. And other than that, thank you for listening. I'll catch you next episode.
Peace out.
Peace out.